Welcome to Part 2 of the Scaleforum 2022 report. In this part of the report, we will take a wander round the main hall. The hall is a high-ceilinged room with good lighting, both natural from the windows along the side and artificial from above. The room is located off to the right from the atrium area, covered in Part 1 of the report. The lower part of the hall has some layouts and stands. Whilst up on stage we have demonstrators. Immediately on the left as we enter the hall, there is a Scalefour Society stores stand, offering the usual comprehensive selection of templates, tools and jigs, and track components. However, of particular interest this year was the radio-controlled starter kit, which sold out at the show. Straight ahead of us we have Squires and Southeast Finecast, offering a wide choice of scenery materials and tools, as well as the range of kits from Southeast Finecast. A late entry for the show, which was not in the published programme, was Bankside. Welcome to Bankside. This layout is set in Southwark, South London, near Bankside Power Station, now known as Tate Modern. It is based on the rail depot at Abbey Street, which services the motive power needs of Cannon Street Station, and borrows heavily from the layout arrangement, building styles and railway equipment for that depot. At the back of the layout there is a high-level viaduct which will cross over the depot entrance on the left side. In front of the viaduct is a goods depot with a road access over it, passing through an arch of the high-level viaduct, again reminiscent of the road access to Abbey Street. This provides operational activity on the layout at all times and gives the opportunity to run odd and unusual prototypes such as 11001, an early BR diesel designed by Bullard. In front of the goods area you have the loco arrival line for the depot. The incoming locos reverse down to the head shunt. The locos are then brought forward and turned. Finally, they move off scene to the shed on the left.
Does it capture audio?
I'm trying to work out what we're on 924, which engine's that?
I wouldn't know if I'm honest. You'll need to move 3 out of the way. Right thing. Decentralize it. That bit smooth bit of footage.
I can clip little tiny bits out.
So you're trying to get some footage for the whole show over the weekend?
Yeah. And during setup while people are sort of doing it.
The buildings are currently in outline form, with representations for features such as the water softener plant and water tank. Note the old tender under the water softener used to take the sludge away. During the show, some of the buildings rescued from an earlier layout were donated to the group for use on Bankside and will hopefully speed up development. Looking at the controls, traction power is DCC and layout control is C-Bus. Now up the steps onto the stage to take a look around the demonstrators. Over on the far side was James Walters, on the right, a new member in the society, talking about starting in P4. This proved to be an extremely busy stand, with James showing examples of the work that he has done for his own layout, Bexhill West. There was great interest in a number of examples of his work that he brought along, including a signal interlocking made using laser cutting techniques and a design for a point operating mechanism. Much more information can be found on his YouTube channel for Bexhill West. Also, it was James who kindly loaned the use of the camera and equipment to capture all the images in this report. Next to James, we have Ted Scannell and Nick Allport, demonstrating how radio control can be used to move away from track-based power. Their demonstration was supported by a recent article in Scalefour News, and the kits were available from stores. Nick is showing how to fit it all into a small loco. Clearly they did a good job, as the Scalefour store's supply of kits sold out. Next we have locomotive construction, demonstrated by Dave Holt. This gave the opportunity to discuss with him his methods of construction. A quick peek over the shoulders of his customers reveals what looked like a BR262 tank loco being used for his demonstration. On the front of the stage, we have the diesel and electric modelling demonstration by Robert Austin and David Furnage, showing a range of projects and subject matter from the post-steam era. Nick Rogers, as part of the Devon Riviera Group Roadshow team, demonstrated wagon construction. He was showing how to get the best from RTR and kit wagons and compensated chassis. John Farmer demonstrated how to develop scenic elements of a layout using a wide range of materials. Examples include a diorama modelling Netherthorpe Halt on the former Wye Valley Railway, and another diorama showing a section through the scenery and its construction method. Coming to the last demonstration, Track and Baseboards Building and Research by Rod Cameron, who is behind the baseboard. Rod used his model of Lewis as the basis for his demonstration. He brought along examples of the research that he had done, photos and details from the period required. For example, copies of signal box diagrams and signal configurations. Then there was the track building, with double junctions in both directions, and other complications. That was the last of the demonstration stands on the stage. Now let's take a look at Hawes, back down the steps to the main hall floor. Welcome to the Hawes layout. This is a scale model of Hawes Station on the Wensleydale branch of the North Eastern Railway. It forms an end-on junction with the Midland Railway spur off the Settle and Carlisle, allowing a wide variety of stock to operate. From the viewing side, the running lines are set to the rear of the layout, giving a wide open space for scenery development and a panoramic feel to the layout. The North Eastern ran most of the passenger services, with trains running through to Garsdale and the Settle and Carlisle. Motive power spotted on the layout at Scaleforum included this North Eastern Railway G6. This D17 in LNER livery, and an LMS Ginty. Freight trains from both the North Eastern and Midland Railways terminated at Hawes, allowing a wide variety of stock from numerous pre-grouping railways to be represented in the goods yards. The layout is quite long and the viewing distance is deep, so you have plenty of time to watch trains pass by.
Right, I'm going to go and get a tea. Does anybody else want to?
Of note was the method of construction for the scenery areas. Wood profile templates covered with strips of card to form a grid, onto which is laid the grass material. During setup, it was interesting to note the construction of the baseboard support system with metal trestles and continuous box section ply beams to support the layout baseboards.
Moving on from Hawes, we have the London Road Models stand, showing a number of recently released models, including a London North Western LMS Ramsbottom crane tank and a Midland Railway 10-ton gas tar or creosote wagon. Adjacent we find the Allen Gibson stand, offering a wide range of wheels, chassis and other essential components. New or returning items for this year's show include conversion wheel sets for classes 31 and 50, conducting rolling stock wheels and conducting tender wheels. Next to look at is the Abbey Street layout.
Abbey Street is the latest exhibition layout built by Jas Millam in S scale, that is 1:64. The layout represents a small station near a town centre, at the end of an urban branch line from an out-of-town main station, inspired by the situation at Colchester St Botolph's. Abbey Street is set in the British Railways period, representing the late 1950s to the early 1960s, and featuring a variety of stock and motive power appropriate to this period and location. The great delight of this layout is the modelling, all scratch built, and it captures the character of the era. For example, this crowded street scene with lots of small shops, the decayed flint wall of the old abbey, or the goods yard stable with holes in the roof and the coping stones falling off. The shunting horse has long gone. The layout elegantly represents a railway in decay. Oh, and notice the binman just over the wall. Local industries are hanging on, even though their buildings are showing their age. The grain store is still in use, with grain hoppers both old and new. There are also some rather nice cameos. This cutaway of the parcel shed, for example, on the front of the layout. Or the station wall opened up to reveal the platforms and undercroft. The detail is well observed. Here are a couple of pigeons on the station roof. Apparently there are 10 of these scattered about the layout. The roofline has a mass of chimneys and an old-style H-type TV aerial. And look at these curtains that are blown out of the window, showing the eye for detail in this model. And for anyone who is tempted to touch, the layout comes with a warning.
In the centre of the hall, we come to the stand for all components, offering a huge range of products from electronic components to coaches, scenic materials and tools. And for when P4 gets a bit too fiddly, how about some garden railway modelling as light relief? Just round the corner is the Wild Swan book stand,
with their well-known titles for modelling rolling stock and scenery, and also showing their new book for small layout design. Finally, in the main hall, we come to the United Mills layout. United Mills represents a fictitious rail-served, small industrial facility set in the Cowdenbeath Kelty area of West Fife during the late 1950s and early 1960s period. Although the specific nature of the business deliberately remains a little vague, it revolves around the manufacture of metal castings and fabrications. Life is growing harder for such concerns at this time, and the air of decay and dereliction around the site is palpable. The track plan allows for the shunting of 2 sidings and trains to operate between fiddle yards at each end. The exit to the right being through the mill building, and the left exit under a bridge. British Rail locomotives are regular visitors to the line, bringing in and taking out a variety of traffic.
Yep.
Although United Mills' own locomotives work much of the traffic up to the railhead with BR. They also carry out shunting into and out of the factory buildings.
But there's so much chatter going on in the background that
Well, yeah, you presumably have to clean that off anyway.
Detailing on the layout is well executed. For example, 2 kids and their pet dog playing on an old lorry chassis. Or this dog relieving himself on the lamppost. And mill workmen going about their daily tasks. The control panel is on the front of the layout, so the operator can chat with viewers. Finally, a quick look behind the scenes. Here is the fiddle yard at the left end of the layout, with a range of wagon types, including bolster and sheet plate wagons. That concludes part 2 of the Scaleforum report, covering the main hall. Next we will take a look around the sports hall.